How did I go from feeling untouchable to standing in a public lobby while a process server said my full name out loud? Why did my husband look so calm when he took out his phone and said he had proof for months, dates, times, money, and messages? My name is Melisande Porter, and I used to think I was a fair person. I worked in marketing at a medical device company, and I told myself I carried the whole house on my back. I had 2 kids, Nora and Miles. I had a husband, Graham. From the outside, it looked good. Inside, I felt bored and angry, like the air in our home was too small for me. That morning, I stood in the kitchen with a cold mug of coffee. Nora sat at the table and pushed cereal around with her spoon. Miles made a sticky sound with his hands because he had jam on his fingers. Graham walked in with his work bag and his neat shirt. He looked calm, like he always did, and that calm started to feel like an insult. He asked if I slept okay. I said I was fine. He asked if I wanted him to do school drop-off. I said I could do it. He asked why my eyes looked tired. I said I had too many tasks at work. I made my voice flat, like a manager speaking to a difficult employee. I liked the way it made him pause. Nora asked why Dad talked so softly. I said he was thinking too much again. Graham heard it, and he looked at me like he wanted to correct me, but he did not. He just took a plate and started cutting fruit for the kids. I told myself I was teaching him a lesson. I said respect followed results, and I had results. Graham had rules and routines. I had energy and people skills. That was how I framed it in my head. When we got into the car, I did not look at him. The morning light hit the driveway, and I noticed our SUV's little camera light blink once near the mirror. I had seen it before, but that day it bothered me. It felt like the car had an opinion. Graham asked if I wanted to use his card for groceries later. I said I already had a plan. He asked what plan. I said he did not need to know every detail. I heard myself say it, and I liked the edge in it. I wanted him to feel small. At school drop-off, Nora held my hand too tight. She looked back at Graham and asked why he did not smile. He said he was happy to see her, and he said he would smile later. I rolled my eyes where only Nora could see. Nora copied me, just a little. That gave me a strange rush, like I had power. At the office, the open plan room smelled like printer toner and cheap coffee. People talked too loud, like they always did on Mondays. Jenna Park waved at me from her desk and asked if I saw the rooftop bar photos from last weekend. I said yes and said I looked great in them. Jenna laughed and said I needed to go out more. I said I would. My phone buzzed. It was Tyler Cruz. Tyler was a sales rep who came by our office every few weeks. He always stood too close, but in a way that felt planned, like a performance. He wrote that he was in town and asked if I had time for a quick catch-up. The words were normal, but the tone felt warm. I did not tell myself it was wrong. I told myself it was networking. Jenna asked who was texting me so fast. I said it was a vendor and that I had to stay on top of things. Jenna raised her eyebrows like she understood a secret. She liked secrets. That made her useful. Around noon, I went to the break room. I was pouring water when Tyler walked in like he belonged there. He asked how I was doing. I said work was crushing me. He said he could tell I carried a lot. He said he respected strong women. I did not answer that directly, but I felt seen. That feeling made me greedy. He asked if I wanted coffee after work. I said maybe, if my schedule allowed it. He asked if my husband minded. I said Graham was busy and that he trusted me. I made it sound proud, like Graham trusting me was proof I deserved freedom. Tyler nodded like that was the right answer. Back at my desk, I looked at my calendar and moved a meeting. I told myself I was doing it for work. Then I opened my messages again and reread Tyler's lines. I felt a spark in my chest and thought, finally, something is about me. Later, Graham called once. I watched the screen ring. I did not answer. I told myself it was because I was busy. I told myself he called too much and acted like a supervisor. When I finally texted him, I wrote that I was in meetings. I added a short smiley face to make it look normal. After work, I drove to a small coffee shop near the office. I chose it because it was not close to our home. I parked and sat for a moment, looking at my reflection in the rearview mirror. I thought about my life and decided I deserved a version that felt exciting. I did not think about what that would cost. I thought cost was something other people paid. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. Tyler arrived a few minutes later. He asked if I wanted to sit in the corner. I said yes. He asked if I was nervous. I said no and laughed. He talked about travel and clients and how some people lived like robots. He said some men did not know how to keep a woman's attention. I said some women were not meant to shrink. I liked how it sounded. He asked what Graham was like. I said Graham was good on paper. I said he was stable but not romantic. I said I felt invisible at home. I left out the parts where Graham packed lunches for the kids, or fixed small things without being asked, or stayed up late to fold laundry. Those facts did not help my story. When I got home, the kitchen light was on. Graham stood at the counter with 2 mugs, but he did not pour into mine. He asked if work ran late. I said yes, and I said the day was chaos. He asked why my location showed I was not at the office. I said phones were wrong sometimes. I said he was being paranoid. He did not argue. He just looked at me for a long second and then looked away. Nora ran in and hugged my legs. She asked if I could read a book. I said yes, later. Miles held up a toy and made a loud sound. I felt annoyed that the house needed me in so many directions. After bedtime, I walked past the small home office. The door was half closed. I heard a soft tap, like keys on a laptop. I pushed the door a little and saw Graham's screen for a moment. It showed a calendar view, not his work one, and I noticed a block that said, Meeting, Personal 9:10 a.m. He turned the screen away and asked what I needed. I said I was just looking for a charger. He said he had one in the drawer. I said I would find mine. He asked if we could talk later. I said there was nothing to talk about. I went to the bedroom and shut the door harder than necessary. In bed, I told myself he was the problem. I told myself he made me do this by being too calm, too careful, too sure he was a good man. I stared at the ceiling and thought about Tyler's messages. I felt a smile try to form. Then I heard Graham moving in the hall, quiet and steady, like he was putting something back in its place. I planned the night like it was a work project. I told myself I needed it. I said I had earned it. The truth was simpler. I wanted to feel chosen, and I wanted Graham to feel optional. All day I acted busy on purpose. When Graham asked what time I would be home, I said I did not know. When he asked if we needed groceries, I said the fridge was not my job alone. When he asked if I could help with Miles's daycare form, I said I had deadlines. I watched his face tighten for half a second, and I felt like I had won something. Jenna messaged about the rooftop bar. She said everyone was going, and that I could not stay trapped at home. I told her I would be there. I did not ask Graham. I informed him. In the late afternoon, I changed clothes in the bedroom. I chose something that looked confident in photos. I wanted my friends to react fast. I wanted them to post me. I wanted the internet to see I was fine. Graham came to the doorway and asked if I was going out. I said yes. He asked who would do bedtime. I said he could handle it because he was a parent too. He asked if I could at least be back before midnight. I said he was not my curfew. He did not yell. He nodded like he was taking a note. He asked if I had time to talk for 5 minutes. I said there was nothing to talk about. Then I walked past him and grabbed my purse. I made sure my phone was in my hand, like a shield. On the drive, I checked my messages at red lights. Tyler had sent a short line asking how my day ended. I told him I was going out with friends. He asked if I was free later. I said I would see. My stomach fluttered. I told myself it was harmless because nothing had happened yet, like the future was a magic excuse. The rooftop bar was loud and bright. The city looked like a spread of glitter behind glass. Jenna hugged me and said I looked unreal. I said I knew. She laughed. 2 other friends were there, and they asked where Graham was. I said he was at home doing his routine. I made it sound like a flaw. They asked if we were okay. I said we were fine, but that marriage could feel like a cage if the man stopped trying. I watched their faces. I saw them lean toward my side without needing proof. That felt good. That felt safe. We took photos near the railing. Jenna told me to tilt my chin up. I did it. I posted a story right away. I wrote a caption about choosing peace. I knew it was a lie, but the lie looked clean. A little later, we moved to the smoking patio because it was warmer near the heaters. People talked in tight circles. I felt like I belonged to the world again. Jenna asked if I was talking to anyone new. I said I had options. She squealed and asked if it was the sales guy. I pretended not to hear, then smiled anyway. My phone buzzed again. It was Graham. I watched it ring. I wanted to punish him for calling, as if caring was a crime. I ignored the first call, then the second. Jenna noticed and asked if it was him. I said yes and rolled my eyes. She said I should not let him control my night. I said I agreed. The group nodded like we were discussing something serious. When I finally answered, Graham asked if I was okay. I said yes. He asked if he could pick me up later so I would not drive. I said I was not a child. He asked what time. I said I did not know. He said he would wait for my message. I said fine, like it was a favor to him. I stayed longer than I planned. I let the night stretch, because I liked the feeling of being unreachable. I liked being a person with a separate life. When Tyler messaged again, I told him I was out and could not talk much. He sent a wink emoji. I stared at it too long. Around midnight, I stepped away from the group to answer a quick message. My hands moved fast. I told Tyler the bar name. I said maybe he could say hi. I told myself I was not inviting trouble. I told myself I was networking. I did not believe it, but I liked the sound of it. Jenna came up behind me and asked if I was texting my new man. I said it was work. She laughed and said my work looked fun. I did not correct her. Not long after, Graham appeared near the host stand. He did not push through people. He did not shout my name. He waited at the edge like a stranger. I saw him before anyone else did. My first feeling was irritation. My second feeling was relief, and I hated that more. Jenna noticed him and made a face. She asked why he was there. I said he had issues. I walked over slowly, like I was being forced. Graham asked if I was ready to go. I said I was having fun. He asked if I could step outside for a minute. I said no, because he liked to lecture. He asked if I could just tell him my plan so he would not worry. I said he was embarrassing me. People looked. I felt their attention like a spotlight. I decided to use it. I said he always did this. I said he tracked me. I said he acted like a jealous man. I made my voice louder than needed. Jenna and the others moved closer, like a wall behind me. Graham's face went still. He asked if I wanted him to leave. I said yes, unless he could behave. He asked if I'd been drinking. I said he was being insulting. He asked if I could come home because the kids would wake early. I said he was using the kids to control me. He did not touch me. He did not raise his voice. He just nodded again, like he was marking another point. Then he said he would wait in the car and that I could come when I was ready. He walked away with the same calm steps. Jenna whispered that he was so dramatic. I said he always wanted to look like the good guy. I took another photo and posted it. I wanted my followers to see me smiling while he looked stiff. I thought that would prove something. When I finally went down to the street, the air was cold. Graham stood by the car with his hands in his pockets. He asked if I was ready. I said yes, like he should be grateful. In the car, I stared at my phone, hoping Tyler would message again. The silence made me itchy. Graham asked if anything happened tonight that he needed to know about. I said no. He asked why I seemed angry at him. I said, because he did not trust me. He said he trusted actions more than words. I said he sounded like a robot. At home, the lights were low. The kids were asleep. The house smelled like dish soap. Graham walked to the kitchen and picked up 2 mugs from the counter. He set one back down and took the other to the sink. He asked if we could talk for 10 minutes. I said I was tired. He asked if I could at least tell him the truth when he asked a simple question. I said he was trying to trap me. He looked at my purse and asked where the credit card was. I said I had it. He asked if I used it at the bar. I said it did not matter. He walked to a drawer near the fridge and opened it. I saw a neat row of envelopes and a folder labeled household. He slid something inside and closed it. I heard a small click, like a lock settling. I stood there, staring at that drawer, and my throat felt tight for no clear reason. I told myself he was being controlling again. I told myself I had to stay strong. But for the first time that night, I wondered what he was putting away from me. By the middle of the week, I started to treat my secret like a normal part of my schedule. I did not call it cheating in my head. I called it balance. I told myself a woman could have a home life and still have something for herself. I said, Graham had his job and his calm and his rules, so I deserved my own space too. At work, Tyler became a pattern. He did not show up every day, but when he did, he acted like he belonged in my time. He messaged in the morning and asked how I slept. I said I slept fine and that the kids woke early. He asked if Graham was still being difficult. I said Graham was just moody lately. I used that word because it made me sound patient and kind. Jenna noticed how often I checked my phone. She asked if I had a new hobby. I said I was managing a lot of projects. She said my face looked bright. I said it was because I finally took care of myself. She nodded like that was brave. Jenna liked stories where a woman took her power back. I knew what she wanted to hear, so I fed it to her. On Thursday, Tyler asked if we could meet at the coffee shop again. I said I had a short window. I told myself it was safe because it was daytime, like daylight meant innocence. I parked 2 blocks away and walked fast, keeping my head down. I felt silly doing it, but I also liked the risk. It made my heart move. At home, my heart fell asleep. Tyler greeted me like we were old friends. He asked what I wanted. I said something simple. He asked if Graham knew where I was. I said Graham did not need a map for my life. Tyler smiled and said I liked a challenge. I did not correct him. He asked if I felt guilty. I said guilt was a tool used to control women. I said I did not owe anyone a perfect version of myself. I heard my own words and thought they sounded smart. Tyler nodded like I was deep. It was easy to look deep when nobody asked you hard questions. When my phone buzzed, I glanced at it and saw Graham's name. I did not answer. I told Tyler it was just noise. Tyler asked if Graham called a lot. I said yes because Graham was needy. I said it like a complaint, even though I knew Graham rarely asked for much. After coffee, I returned to the office and walked in with a calm face. I passed the glass meeting rooms and saw my reflection. My hair looked good. My mouth looked relaxed. I thought, if I look normal, I am normal. I treated my own face like a mask and believed the mask was the truth. That evening at home, Graham cooked pasta for the kids. Miles sat in his high chair and threw a noodle on the floor. Nora told me her teacher liked her drawing. I said that was nice, but I did not ask more. My mind was still at the coffee shop. I felt annoyed that my real life kept asking me to show up. Graham asked if I could help with baths. I said I had emails. He asked if I could at least read Nora's book after. I said I would if she behaved. Nora's face fell, and then she forced a small smile. That smile bothered me more than a tantrum would have. It looked like she was learning to shrink. Later, when the kids were in bed, Graham asked if we could talk. I said he always wanted to talk when I was tired. He asked what time I actually left the office. I said the same time I always did. He said he saw my car was not in the office parking lot when he drove by. I laughed and said he was imagining things. He asked why he would imagine a detail like that. I said because he was anxious and needed to blame someone. He asked if I would just answer a simple question. I said I already did. His calm made me angry. I wanted him to accuse me loudly. I wanted him to slam a door. If he did that, I could call him unstable. Instead, he stayed quiet, and it made me feel like the bad one, which I refused to accept. The next day, I decided to test him. I told him I had a team workout at the gym after work. He asked which gym. I said the one near the office. He asked who from my team. I said he did not know them, so it did not matter. He nodded again, like he was saving the information. At the gym, I did not meet my team. I sat in the lobby and pretended to scroll a work document while I waited for Tyler's message. Tyler wrote that he was nearby and asked if I could come outside. I said I had 10 minutes. I walked out to the sidewalk and stood where the streetlights made everything look soft. Tyler asked if I was scared. I said no. He asked if I liked hiding. I said I liked privacy. That sounded better. When I went back inside, I saw Graham's car in the lot. My stomach dropped. I told myself it was a coincidence. Then Graham walked into the lobby with the same steady steps he used everywhere. He did not look wild. He looked like a man paying attention. He asked if I checked in already. I said yes. He asked if he could say hi to my co-workers. I said they were already upstairs. He asked which class I was taking. I said it changed last minute. He watched my eyes, not my mouth. I felt exposed. I asked why he was there. He said he needed to drop off Miles's water bottle that I forgot. He held it up like proof of kindness. He asked if I wanted it now. I said yes, and I snatched it too fast. I hated that he had a reason to be there. He asked if everything was okay. I said yes and told him to stop acting like a detective. He said he was not acting like anything. He said he just wanted clarity. I said clarity was controlling language. He did not respond to that. He just said he hoped I had a good workout and walked out. On the drive home, I felt hot with anger. I told myself he was crossing lines. I told myself he was trying to catch me. I also told myself he would never actually do anything serious because he was too careful and too soft. I held that belief like a blanket. That night, I walked past the home office again. The door was open this time. Graham sat at his laptop. The screen showed rows and columns, like dates lined up. I could not read the top labels, but I saw numbers, times, and short notes. He moved the mouse fast and minimized it. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing household stuff. I said he never organized anything before. He said he was trying to be responsible. I said it sounded like he did not trust me. He said trust was not a feeling. He said trust was built. I told him he was being dramatic. He looked at me for a moment, then looked back at the screen. I went to the kitchen and opened the drawer near the fridge. I wanted to see what he had locked away. I pulled, but it did not open. My throat tightened again. I told myself he was hiding money from me. I told myself he was planning to punish me. I did not consider that maybe he was protecting himself. When Graham came into the kitchen, he asked what I was looking for. I said I needed tape. He opened another drawer and handed me tape without a comment. That calm kindness made me feel worse than anger would have. It felt like he was stepping back from me on purpose. I went to bed and stared at my phone until Tyler's message popped up. He asked if I missed him. I said I missed feeling alive. Then I turned my screen face down when I heard Graham's footsteps in the hall, slow and steady, like he was measuring the house. By Saturday, I felt bold. I felt like I had already won, because no one had stopped me. Graham stayed calm, and I read that calm as weakness. I told myself I was the only honest one in the marriage, because I was finally listening to my needs. It sounds silly now, but I believed it then. We went to his parents' house for dinner. It was their backyard, clean and quiet, with string lights and a long table. Lydia set out food like she was building peace with her hands. Howard stood near the grill and asked Graham about a road project. Graham answered in his calm voice. He sounded normal. I hated that. Lydia asked how work was going for me. I said work was fine, but home was heavy. She asked what I meant. I said some men forgot their wife was a person. I did not say Graham's name, but everyone understood. Howard asked if everything was okay. I said I was tired of walking on eggshells. Graham looked at his plate. Nora swung her legs under the chair and watched my face. I could see she was learning what got attention. Daphne came too, because I invited her on purpose. She sat beside me like backup. She asked if Graham was still acting cold. I said yes and sighed loudly. I watched Lydia's smile fade. Graham's cousin made a joke about marriage being hard. I said some marriages were harder when the man was boring. A few people laughed the way people laugh when they do not want trouble. I leaned into it. Howard asked what I meant by boring. I said Graham loved paperwork more than romance. I said he treated life like a schedule. I said it like a punchline. A couple of people smiled. Then it got quiet because Graham still did not react. Lydia asked if we could talk later, just us. I said there was nothing to talk about if Graham refused to change. Graham looked up and asked if we could keep dinner peaceful for the kids. I said I was being peaceful, and I said he was the one making tension by sitting there like a judge. Nora asked if Dad was mad. I said Dad got mad inside and then punished everyone with silence. Graham told Nora he was not mad at her. He said he loved her. Nora leaned toward him anyway, like she wanted to check if love still worked. After dinner, I took photos of the table and the lights. I posted one and wrote a caption about family vibes. Daphne replied with a heart and said, I deserved better. I wanted people online to see the nice scene and believe my side first. I told myself that was smart, like building a case. When we left, Graham strapped Miles into his car seat without a word. He asked if I wanted to drive or if he should. I said I would drive because he was too tense. He did not argue. In the car, he asked if I realized I embarrassed him. I said he embarrassed himself by acting stiff. He asked why I kept speaking about him like he was not there. I said because he never listened unless I made it public. At home, the kids went to bed fast. The house felt empty. I walked past the home office and heard a low humming sound. It was the shredder. It stopped when I paused. Then I heard a drawer close and a soft click, like something locking. I told myself he was hiding money. I told myself he was doing something unfair. I did not think about my own unfairness, because that would ruin the story I built. On Monday, I went to the school pickup line. The air was cold and parents stood close in small groups. I checked my phone too often. Tyler had sent a message with a simple question about my weekend. I wrote back that it was family stuff. I did not say more, but my heart moved anyway. A mom named Tessa, who sometimes chatted with me, came over. She asked if I was okay because she saw my post, and then saw a comment from Daphne. She said she hoped everything at home was safe. The way she said safe made me feel judged. I told her Graham was controlling and that he tried to monitor me. I said he acted jealous for no reason. I said it calmly, like I was stating facts. Tessa nodded slowly, but her eyes looked unsure. She said she hoped the kids were not caught in it. I said the kids were fine and that Graham was the one making drama. Nora came out of school and ran to me. She asked why Dad did not come. I said Dad was busy. She asked if Dad was sad. I said Dad liked being sad because it got him attention. Nora frowned and looked back at the school door, like she was waiting for him anyway. That evening, I picked a fight on purpose. I told Graham I needed space and fun and that he was draining. He asked what I wanted him to do. I said he should be a man and fight for me. I wanted him to raise his voice. I wanted proof I could show. He asked why I kept moving the goal. I said I was not moving anything. I said he was just slow. He asked if there was someone else. I laughed and said he was paranoid again. On Tuesday, I stayed late for work and met Tyler in a parking garage near a closed office building. I chose it because it felt private, like the world would not see me. Tyler asked if I was sure. I said yes. He asked if Graham tracked me. I said Graham did not have the spine. When I got back to my car, Graham's car was there. My stomach dropped so hard I felt sick. He stood near a pillar, not blocking me, not rushing me. He held his phone in his hand like it was normal. He asked if we could talk for 2 minutes. I said no and asked why he was following me. He said he was not following me. He said he needed to return a jacket Nora left in his trunk, and he saw my car here. His voice stayed even. He asked who I was with. I said nobody. He asked why I lied so fast. I said I did not lie. I said he was twisting things. He asked if Tyler Cruz was here. I froze for half a second. Then I smiled like it was funny. I said Tyler was a work contact and that Graham was acting unstable. I said I would tell people he was stalking me if he kept this up. Graham nodded once. He looked tired, but he did not look wild. He said he wanted the truth, and he said he would not argue in a parking garage. He said he cared about the kids and wanted calm. Then I heard a soft beep, like an app stopping. Graham put his phone down at his side and did not hide it. He asked if I wanted to keep talking or if I wanted to go home. I said I was done and that he was pathetic. He stepped back, giving me space like he was following a rule. He said, okay. He said he hoped I drove safely. Then he walked toward his car without looking back. I sat in my seat and gripped the steering wheel too hard. I told myself he was building a fake story about me. I told myself I had to stay ahead of it, but my hands were shaking, and for the first time, I was not sure who was actually writing the story anymore. The week after the parking garage, Graham changed in a way I did not expect. He did not explode, he did not beg, he did not threaten. He just went quiet, like a door closing inside him. At first, I told myself it was a tactic. I said he was trying to punish me with silence. I said he wanted me to panic. I promised myself I would not give him the satisfaction. On Monday morning, the kitchen felt divided. There were 2 mugs on the counter again, but they were not side by side. One was near the sink. One was near the window. Graham moved around me like I was furniture. He asked if I wanted coffee. I said I could make my own. He nodded and did not push. He asked what time I would be home. I said I did not know. He said, okay, that was all. No lecture, no questions. The lack of questions made me nervous, and I hated that my body reacted before my pride did. When I came back from work, I noticed small changes. The guest bed looked used, not messy, just used. The blanket was folded with care. A toothbrush sat in the guest bathroom that was not mine. I asked why he was sleeping there. He said he needed space. I asked if he was trying to make me look bad. He said he was trying to keep peace. I told Jenna at work that Graham was emotionally abandoning me. I said he was doing silent treatment like a teenager. Jenna said that was a red flag and that I should protect myself. I let her say it out loud because it made my story sound cleaner. I did not mention Tyler. I did not mention the parking garage. I only told the parts that made me look trapped. That night, Graham cooked for the kids again. Nora asked why Dad was not sitting with us. Graham said he had work to finish. I said he was always busy when real life happened. Graham did not answer that. He just asked Nora if she wanted to pick the bedtime book. Later, on the stairwell landing, I tried to force a fight. I blocked his path and asked if he was planning to leave me. He asked me to step aside so he could put Miles to bed. I said he was acting like a stranger in his own home. He said he was still a father and he would do bedtime. I followed him to the hallway and kept talking. I said his calm was fake. I said he was cold. I said he was the reason I felt lonely. He asked what I wanted from him. I said I wanted him to care. He said he did care, and that was why he would not yell in front of the kids. That sentence made me feel stupid, and I did not like feeling stupid, so I turned it into anger. I said he was trying to act perfect so everyone would believe him. He looked at me for a long moment. Then he looked away like he did not want to waste words. The next day, I went to the supermarket after work. I was tired and hungry, and the lights made everything feel harsh. At the checkout, my card declined. It was not my personal card. It was the joint card we used for groceries. The cashier asked if I had another payment. I felt my face heat up. People stood behind me, shifting and looking. I pulled out my own card and paid fast. I told myself it was a bank error. I told myself Graham did it to control me. When I got home, I confronted him in the kitchen. I asked why the card declined. He asked which card. I said the joint one. He said he adjusted some settings to keep spending clear. He said essentials were still covered, but he wanted everything tracked. He said it calmly, like he was explaining a spreadsheet. I laughed and asked if he thought he was my accountant. He said he was a husband and a father, and he needed stability. I said he was being dramatic. He said he was being responsible. I walked to the drawer by the fridge again. It was still locked. I asked what was in there. He said household items. I asked why it needed a lock. He said because he wanted it that way. He did not apologize. That scared me more than an apology would have. That night I went to Daphne's apartment. I did not go because I needed comfort. I went because I needed an audience. Daphne asked what was happening. I said Graham was isolating me. I said he was controlling money and acting distant. I said he was building a story about me. Daphne got angry fast. She said I should post about it. She said I should warn people. Carmen called while I was there. She asked if we were okay. I told her Graham was acting strange. I said he was watching me. I said I felt unsafe, even though I did not. Carmen went quiet and said I needed to think about the kids. I said I always thought about the kids. That was a lie, but it sounded right. When I came home, the house was dark except for the glow under the home office door. I heard a printer noise, then silence. When I walked closer, the smell of toner hung in the air like something burned. Graham opened the door before I could touch it. He asked if I needed something. I said I needed my charger. He said it was on the kitchen counter. I looked past him and saw his laptop. Tabs were open, but I could not read them clearly. I caught words like storage and tracking and notary near me. He moved the screen slightly, not hiding it with panic, just shifting it away like it was private. In the kitchen, I saw a small USB on the counter for a second, white with a date written on it in marker. When Graham noticed my eyes, he picked it up and slid it into a folder that said taxes. He did it slowly, like he did not care if I saw. I wanted to scream. Instead, I smiled, because I needed to feel in control. I asked if he was planning a surprise. He said no. I asked if he was planning to ruin me. He said he was planning to do things the right way. I followed him to the living room and demanded he talk. He asked what I wanted him to say. I said I wanted him to admit he was wrong. He asked what exactly he did that was wrong. I said he made me feel lonely. He asked if loneliness justified lies. I said he did not understand women. He stood up, slow and steady, and looked at me like I was a problem he finally named. He said he would not fight with me like this anymore. He said he would handle it properly. I thought Graham was bluffing. I thought he liked to sound serious because it made him feel tall. When he said he would handle it properly, I pictured a long talk, maybe a sad dinner, maybe some counseling talk. I did not picture a public place. He texted me the next morning and asked me to meet him downtown. He said we needed to set a plan for the kids. I told Daphne because I wanted a witness. I wanted someone on my side who would talk fast if things got tense. Daphne said she would come and that she would not let him intimidate me. Carmen also came, which surprised me. She said she just wanted to make sure it stayed calm. I told her it was fine and that Graham was only doing this to look like the good guy. I said he was scared of losing control. We met in a courthouse lobby. I noticed the metal detectors and the security guard and the quiet lines. People moved with folders and tired faces. I felt offended that my marriage was standing in the same building as strangers' problems. I told myself we did not belong there. Graham was already waiting near a bench. He looked clean and calm, like he had slept well. Lydia stood a few steps away with Nora and Miles. Nora held Lydia's hand and watched me with wide eyes. Miles leaned against Lydia's leg like he wanted to hide. I asked why the kids were here. Graham said he wanted them nearby so the handoff could be clear and quick. I said handoff like it was normal. I asked if he was really doing this in front of them. He said he was not here to argue. He said he was here to do it the right way. Daphne asked what the right way meant. Graham did not answer her. He looked at me and asked if I was ready to talk like adults. I said I was ready, and I said he was the one acting extreme. Then a woman in a plain blazer walked toward us. She held a small stack of papers and a clipboard. She asked if I was Melisande Porter. The way she said my full name made my stomach drop. I looked around like maybe she had the wrong person. I said yes, and I asked who she was. She said she was a process server. She said she had legal documents for me. Her voice was calm and practiced, like she said it many times a day. My face burned. People nearby turned their heads. Daphne lifted her phone without even thinking. Carmen whispered my name like a warning. I told the woman she could not do this here. The woman said she could, and she said it counted as service. She asked me to confirm my address. I said I did not have to confirm anything. She said she only needed to identify me, and she already had. Graham did not move. He did not smile. He did not look angry. He just watched the papers in her hand like he had already seen them. I told everyone this was abuse. I said Graham was trying to shame me. I said he was trying to steal my kids. I said he was twisting normal marriage problems into a court story. I said it loud enough for strangers to hear, because I wanted strangers to judge him. Graham spoke quietly. He said I could call it whatever I wanted, but he had proof, and he was not guessing anymore. He said he did not want drama, and he did not want fights in the house. He said he wanted a clear schedule, clear money rules, and clear boundaries. The process server handed me the papers. My hands shook, and I hated that they shook. I tried to give them back. She said I could refuse to touch them, but service still happened, and she could place them at my feet. That sounded worse, so I took them. The top page had our names. It had words I did not want to see: petitioner, respondent. I felt like the building got colder. Daphne asked Graham if he was proud of himself. Graham said he was not proud. He said he was doing what was lawful and necessary. Daphne asked if he had been spying on me. Graham said he gathered evidence the legal way, and he kept records because I kept lying. I flipped through without reading fully because I was afraid of the details. I saw dates. I saw attachments listed like a grocery list. Messages, receipts, location logs, social posts. I saw a line about temporary orders effective immediately. My mouth went dry. I told Graham he could not control money. I told him he could not control where I went. I told him he could not make me look like a monster. Graham said the court did not care about my speeches. He said the court cared about patterns and proof. Carmen asked what the papers meant, voice small. Graham answered her, not me. He said there was a temporary parenting plan starting today. He said the kids would sleep at the house on school nights with him for now, and I would have set times that were written down. He said there were temporary financial rules too. He said neither of us could drain accounts or make big purchases without agreement. He said communication about the kids would go through one app, so there would be no more fights by text. I said he was trying to erase me. I said he was turning me into a visitor in my own family. Graham said I turned myself into a risk when I lied and mocked him and treated the home like a stage. Nora asked if she was going home with Dad. Graham told her yes, and he said she would see me on the days written in the plan. Nora looked at me like she was waiting for me to argue, like arguing was my job. I stared at the page again. My eyes locked onto the words I could not soften. effective immediately, and a date stamped in dark ink. And in that bright courthouse lobby, with strangers walking past, and my sister filming and my mother frozen, I finally understood that Graham was not begging anymore. He had already won the first move, on paper, in public, starting today.